How are you?
Good. Much better.
Really? I'm so like, tell me why you're feeling so much better.
I sorted out work. So the last time we were talking, I didn't really have a job. I was in between, I was on a sabbatical. So yeah, I got a job, so that's helped. Um, yeah. Besides that, I got back to my schedule quite a bit. So just regular exercise, like just proper meal times, just like a routine. I think that's helping. That's really helping. And yeah, I spend quite a bit of time with my family, so that's definitely helped. Slowly getting back in the social circle, very slowly.
Yeah.
Um, it's a slow process, but yeah, I'm being intentional about who I spend my time with, how I spend it. That's something that came up in therapy. So yeah.
Were you off pre the attempt? Were you off schedule? Like, had you allowed yourself to slip in, functionality in terms of like keeping the schedule? I know how important that is for.
Yeah, I think what came up in therapy was in my previous job, I was not doing that well. Over time, it had been 3 years in the same job. And this is my pattern that I get bored really fast, especially when it comes to work. And I took time out, and in the 2, 3 months leading up to the attempt, it was basically a case of empty mind devil's workshop where I was trying to figure out what will work, what will not work. I got very lazy. I got extremely lazy. And the work was a massive part of my routine. Just 6 to 8 hours of doing something. And I think in the 10 days leading up to the attempt, I was just all over the place. The thing that was happening properly was just the exercise bit and my dance. But the whole day otherwise was extremely all over, in a lot of negative company. I didn't realize it, but I think I'd ended up starting drinking a little here and there. On the day of the attempt, I had just downed a bottle of wine straight up, glug, in the day. And I'm usually not a daytime drinker. And I was completely alone at home. So, yeah, also a lot of stoning. There was a lot of weed happening. So, I didn't realize it. And before this, when it comes to the substances, I was in check. It was just maybe a beer or two. Um, and I'd stopped with the weed and everything. But yeah, in those 10 days, the weed went out of hand. And I know how that does a number on me just in terms of going into loops of negative thoughts. So the substances, it all just took a toll and just bad company. Um, that ended up happening quite a bit. And I have a set of friends who positively influenced me, but I just pushed them away completely without realizing it. I chose not to meet them. I canceled those plans. So yeah, and now I'm clean, so that's really helping.
I smoked weed for years on and off. And, it did do weird, cool shit to my mind. Like I'd have, if you write, it disrupts standard patterns, which can be useful. It's seductive because it takes me out of my standard way of thinking. But I'm curious how you see your relationship to substances and what.
Um, I mean, alcohol definitely is like the number one enemy. I've realized it, and in the past also, when I was a teenager or I was in my 20s also, it's really like up and ruined a lot of things for me. It's ruined a lot of relationships as well because that person is really not me, and I end up doing or saying things that I wouldn't normally do. So, and then I've had a lot of like breakdowns on alcohol, and it's just been too bad. So 100% like getting drunk is not an option for me. I cannot in under any circumstance get drunk. If I do get drunk, it's usually in very safe company, which is my sister or my father, because they know how to bring me back to reality or take care of me or handle me and make sure that I'm in check. Or obviously, the things I say and all, they don't take it to heart because they really know me. So those are the only times I choose to get drunk, even if it's a celebration. But otherwise, no, I do not touch alcohol. With weed, it's been a very strange relationships. I mean, I've had good times, no doubt, when I'm just laughing or having fun. But I know for a fact yeah, it leads into just loops of negativity. So if I have to say this one thought going on in my head about work or people at work, if I'm smoking and getting stoned, it will just take me in the zone where I think that, oh, they are against me, or, maybe they are judging me. Um, yeah, or maybe I'm not good enough at work, or maybe tomorrow something wrong will happen. So it just goes into from one negative loop to another, to another, to another. Or if I've, say, had a fight with my husband, then it will take me into a massive negative loop in that regard. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to substances, I know I have to be very careful. And yeah, in terms of like,
Can I interject? Can I interject one thing here? I want to keep hearing what you're saying, but something um that motivated me in a way that this may not work for you. And I'm not here to try to like whatever change you, but I will tell you something that like actually shifted my brain with with use of weed. And it was after I'd been in treatment for a while. Uh, and so I had, a number of months under my belt of not using any substances and being indoctrinated, but good indoctrination of this sort of what is BPD thing. And it was that when I use like a substance, in my case, weed, right, marijuana, um, I have to be suspicious of my reasons for using it. It's a reasonable shot, given me, that it's an emotional avoidance strategy. Certainly early out of recovery or early into treatment, I'm too young at the process of recovering to really trust that it's just a recreational fun thing. Because I haven't built the muscle yet to like tolerate my life enough to be able to trust myself in the choice I'm making. And that it disconnects me emotionally. And so I can't be connected to the moment, and thus whatever is my like North Star that I'm going for in life, like my North Star might be like connection, not damaging connection, and completing projects, and whatever is that North Star, and the associated feelings that are going to help guide me toward it gets it takes you out of the truth of your feeling. And so you lose like your North Star shifts to the North Star of the substance, like where the substance is leading you. And if you do it enough, you're building a life toward a North Star that isn't necessarily the North Star that's really going to help you realize yourself. And so I thought that, and it robs you of the opportunity to truly learn in the moment, because it's like helping you avoid a feeling. Anyway, it sounds like right now you're right, like you're getting all these sort of organizing principles back in place, right?
yeah,
And it sounds like you're doing it pretty quickly. It's like you kind of know they exist, and were you aware of their slippage in the last several weeks beforehand? You were not.
it just happened. I mean, now that I look back, I feel like, it was not me taking charge of my life at all. It was me just giving into a lot of intrusive thoughts, and I don't know what I was doing. I literally feel like I don't know what I was doing and why I was doing. Why was I drinking? I mean, I know I was depressed. Like you said, I was being very avoidant, and I avoided meeting my family. I avoided meeting a lot of my friends, but there was also this urge. I mean, my impulse control was just out, like it was out of hands. And it's, like I said, it's about the negative company. At times, these people just say what I want to hear, and those were unhealthy things. I mean, just looking back, those were very unhealthy things that, hey, it's okay to have one more joint, or come here, like, just it's okay to party. But those were things I shouldn't have been doing. And people who care about me, be it, my best friend, she was the one saying, you should not be drinking. You should not be having one more joint. You should not be doing this. You should not be doing that. You need to look for a job. You need to get employed. But I just pushed those people away. They're still there. I mean, I'm lucky that, they're still there and they're supportive. But yeah, I think when it comes to wrong company, I had a lot of realizations about that in the last couple of weeks. The people who are saying what I want to hear are probably not the healthiest for me.